see the picture, here you are seeing the pus from the eyes here, and here you are seeing the drainage. Here, particularly drainage can also be seen here. This of the particularly in the lag region. So now talking about the Pseudomonas, not Pseudomonas, now we will be talking about the Burkholderia. Now when talking about the Burkholderia, now this Burkholderia, they were classified not in the gamma, they were classified in the beta protobacteria, and now with the Pseudomonas, they are considered in the group 2 instead of group 1. In group 1, Pseudomonas are there. In group 2, that is the Burkholderias or Burkholderia are present. Generally, in case of bacteria, there is only single circular chromosome in their structure. Most of the bacteria, when talking about most of the bacteria, they are having in their structure single circular chromosomes. But in case of Burkholderia malii, you will be finding the two circular chromosomes. Initially, the organism was named as the Malumyces malii, Loeffler malii, or Pifrilla malii. Okay, the Burkholderia malii. Now we used to say the Burkholderia. Initially, it was also known as the Pseudomonas malii also. So when we used to study, we used to say Pseudomonas malii, but it is the Burkholderia malii nowadays. So Burkholderia malii is responsible for causing the disease condition known as glanders. The disease condition is known as glanders, and this is the disease of equides. Equides means belonging to the equine family. So most of the organism which will be belonging to the equidae family, they will be responsible, or in those this Burkholderia malii will be causing the glanders. Now this is a category B biothreat agent also. This is a category B biothreat agents. So it is responsible, it is very much zoonotic disease and notifiable disease. Glanders is a zoonotic and notifiable disease because it is responsible for, it is a life-threatening disease to human beings also. Now this Burkholderia pseudomalii is also known as the white morse bacillus. Burkholderia pseudomalii is synonym is white morse bacillus, while the malioidosis is also known as the pseudoglanders. Okay, glanders is Burkholderia malii, malioidosis is pseudoglanders. Now this, when talking about the general characteristics of the glanders or the particularly Burkholderia organism, we can say they are the gram-negative rods. And their size is just like the size of the Pseudomonas organism. We have seen the size of the Pseudomonas, it was the same, 0.5 to 1 into 1 to 5 micrometer. Now they are obligate aerobes. They are obligate aerobes, oxidizing carbohydrates. So these are the same thing which we have seen in case of Pseudomonas. Oxidase positive, catalase positive, motile, one of it with the help of one or more flagella. So ये जो पूरे characteristics हैं जो मैंने अभी बताई किसके हैं, Pseudomonas में भी same थे. So you won't have to learn for other than that. So in case of Pseudomonas also you have to write the same characteristics, and in case of Burkholderia also. Now this Burkholderia malii. So I have told that they are the motile organism, but Burkholderia malii is non-motile. तो बाकी सब organism कैसे है, motile है, पर exception is Burkholderia malii. It is non-motile and requires glycerol in media for optimal growth. ठीक है, Burkholderia malii क्या है, non-motile है और इसको मीडिया में ग्लिसरॉल की जरूरत है for their optimal growth. So this is the general characteristics of the Pseudomonas Burkholderia organism. So I'm not going with each and every disease which is being caused by the Burkholderia organism. but we will be discussing about a very important disease, that is the glanders. So particularly, this glanders is caused by the Burkholderia malai and is responsible for causing contagious acute or chronic infection in equidae. Okay, causing contagious acute or chronic infection in equidae. Equidae means they may be the horse, mule, and donkey, and then characterized by formation of nodules and ulcers in the respiratory tract. Okay, when nodules and ulcers can be seen in the respiratory tract. Here inside the nose, you will be finding the nodules or ulcers in the respiratory tract. So they may be the pulmonary and the nasal form or on the skin. अभी हमने जो फर्स्ट पे उसमें देखा था कि रैट के वहां पे भी उनको वहां पस फॉर्मेशन दिख रहा था, सीपेज ऑफ पस भी दिख रहा था, ड्रेनेज नॉट सीपेज, ड्रेनेज ऑफ पस दिख रहा था. So that was the skin form or the Farsi forms. So glanders is a particularly acute or chronic infection of equidae formation by nodules and ulcers in the respiratory tract and on the skin. So generally, sheep, goats, and dogs and cats become infected only if they come in contact with the infected animal or if they eat their meat. So generally, infection is seen in the equidae family, but occasionally you can see infection in these animals if they have eaten the contaminated meat. So cattle and pigs are immune. Cattle and pigs are immune to the glanders, and human and carnivores are susceptible to infections. Human and carnivores are susceptible to the infection of the glanders. So this organism, I have told, it is responsible for causing biothreat, or it is a very dangerous organism. It is responsible for causing a notifiable disease, and particularly it is a zoonotic disease also responsible for causing zoonotic infections. So we have to take care of this, and this organism is worldwide in distribution. Worldwide in distribution, which means so in most of the countries you will be forming this type of infections, but from most of the countries it has been eradicated. But the sporadic cases, sporadic means some infection may be here, some may be here. So the sporadic cases and small endemic foci of disease are in the Middle East, India, Pakistan, and China. Last year there were infection in MP also, near we can say Malwa region. There was infection of glanders in Malwa region. So sporadic infection is to take place in India yet now, and in MP also. Last year infection was recorded in MP also. So the transmission, how the disease is being transmitted. So generally, I have told the infection can be in the nasal form or the respiratory form or in the skin form. So generally, when the organism, they are contaminating the food or water, so by the nasal discharge or the discharge from their legs or any other body part due to the pus. So the food or water contaminated by nasal discharge of the infected equidae or any of the animals, so they will be responsible for causing contamination of food and water. So less commonly inhalation or through skin abrasion. So mostly it is due to the nasal discharge, but through the inhalation or the skin abrasion infection can be seen. So the carnivores may contract the disease by eating infected carcasses. Once the carnivore, they have been eating the infected carcass of the horses, there are chances that they may be getting the infection of the Burkholderia from them. I told the infection is mostly through the nasal route, but it can be through the aerosol route or the inhalation, because the infection of inhalation requires extremely small number of organisms, which is one of the reasons the organism is classified as category B bioterrorist agent by the Center of Disease Control USA, CDC. CDC जो इसका सेंटर है यूएसए में, इसको कैटेगरी बी बायोटेररिस्ट एजेंट के रूप में हमने कैटेगराइज किया हुआ है. So generally the clinical signs which are present in case of glanders, it can be in the acute form or it can be in the chronic form. So the acute form is generally seen in case of donkeys and mules. जो acute infection रहता है किसमें दिखता है? Donkeys और mules में, गधों में और खच्चरों में, acute form. While the chronic form is seen in case of horses. And this classical description of glanders distinguish between nasal form, cutaneous form and pulmonary form. या तो हम इनको इन तीन फॉर्म में, नेजल फॉर्म, पल्मोनरी फॉर्म एंड कुटेनियस फॉर्म भी बोल सकते हैं. तीन फॉर्म में हमको दिखता है क्या? ग्लैंडर्स. अब नेजल फॉर्म क्या है? नेजल फॉर्म मतलब कि नाक की जो म्यूकोसा है अंदर की, वहां पे हमको कहना चाहिए अपर रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट में ही इंफेक्शन हमको दिल जाएगा. तो क्या है? इट इज कैरेक्टराइज्ड बाय यूनिलैटरल और बाइलैटरल, या तो एक साइड से या दोनों साइड से पुरुलेंट, मतलब पस जो फॉर्म हो गया, म्यूकस नहीं पुरुलेंट हो गया है, ब्लड स्टेन नेजल डिस्चार्ज. ठीक है. येलोइश ग्रीन एग्जुडेट इज हाईली इन्फेक्शियस. अगर हमको येलोइश ग्रीन दिख रहा है तो वो हाईली इन्फेक्शियस है. And the nasal mucosa have nodules and ulcers. अगर हमने ऐसे nasal को सेप्टा को उठा के देखेंगे हॉर्स के केस में या डंकी के म्यूल के केस में, तो हमको क्या दिखेंगे? यहाँ पे अल्सर्स दिखेंगे, नोड्यूल्स दिखेंगे. And these ulcers, और एक नहीं अगर बहुत सारे अल्सर्स होंगे तो क्या सब होंगे? आपस में मिल जाएंगे और एक लार्ज अल्सर बना देगा. And these ulcers eventually heal, leaving star-shaped scar. तो जो एक बार हीलिंग हो जाएगी तो स्टार शेप का हमको स्कार दिखेगा. जो हम एक बार कभी भी हीलिंग हो जाती है स्किन में तो स्कार रह जाता है, तो हमको कैसा स्कार दिखेगा? स्टार शेप स्कार दिखेगा. डिस्ट्रेस, अगर यहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा अल्सर्स होगा तो क्या होगा? रेस्पिरेटरी डिस्ट्रेस होगा. And development of tubercle-like lesions throughout the lungs. In the nasal form you can see like this. Now the cutaneous form. Cutaneous मैंने बोल दिया कि स्किन का फॉर्म है, स्किन फॉर्म, एंड इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज द फारसी. इसके लिए जो एक्ट बना 1800 में बना था, तो इसका नाम ही था ग्लैंडर एंड फारसी एक्ट. जो एक्ट बना था that was known as Glanders and Farsi Act. So the cutaneous form is termed as the Farsi. और ये क्या है? It is a lymphangitis in which nodules occur along the course of lymphatic vessels of the limbs. So develops and discharges. Usually infected animal may die after several months or may recover and continue to पर क्या है कि क्रोनिकली इन्फेक्टेड है तो क्या होगा कि कंटिन्यूअस ऑर्गेनिज्म को शेड करेगा फ्रॉम द रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट और द स्किन. ठीक है. स्किन से हमको क्या है कि ऑर्गेनिज्म की कंटिन्यूअस शेड होता है. तो कुटेनियस फॉर्म इट इज आल्सो नोन एज द फारसी फॉर्म. नाउ द पल्मोनरी फॉर्म. जो नेजल फॉर्म है तो हमको यहाँ नोस्ट्रल्स में दिख गया था. पल्मोनरी फॉर्म में हमको क्या है कि जो कहना चाहिए ये क्या था? इनिशियली यहीं पे मिल गया था लंग्स में इंफेक्शन होगा. सो पल्मोनरी इन द लंग्स डेवलप्ड अलोंग विद nasal and cutaneous lesions, or there may be the soon manifestation and typical of latent cases. So the lungs lesions begin as firm nodules or a diffuse pneumonic process. तो क्या होगा कि अगर लंग्स में nodules बन जाएंगे बहुत सारे, तो there will be the जो एल्वियोलाई है वो प्रोड्यूस हो जाएंगी, तो रेस्पिरेशन में प्रॉब्लम होगा एंड particularly pneumonia हो जाएगा. So clinical signs in animal lung lesions may range from inapparent infection to mild or severe coughing. Horses के केस में coughing अगर अपने को दिख रही है तो it may be suspected for the glanders. Okay, because there may be the inapparent infection or the mild difficulty in respiration, or sometimes there may be the severe coughing. Now the virulence factors which are present in case of, we can say, Burkholderia organisms as it is not having capsule, it is having capsule, it is not having the flagella because it is a capsulated organism. So if an organism is capsulated, it won't be having the flagella. Just we have seen in case of Klebsiella also. It was a non-motile organism, Klebsiella, it was a capsular organism. Here again, this Burkholderia organism, it is having the capsular material or the capsule is there, and so the capsule is there, so there won't be any flagella or fimbriae present on it. Other than that, the LUX1 and the LUX are quorum sensing signals. They are responsible, and the type 3 secretory system, and the major valence factors is its capsular polysaccharides. This capsular material or the capsule is made up of polysaccharide. Only one capsule, particularly, it is made of polypeptide, that is of the Bacillus anthracis organism. It is made up of polypeptide. While all the capsules, it is made up of the polysaccharide. And once the capsule is there, it prevents the phagocytosis. And once the capsule is there, it is preventing phagocytosis, means the organism will be there inside, or it will be persisting inside the body. So the bacterium is capable of intracellular survival. Now this Burkholderia malai produces several acyl homoserine lactones, serves as quorum sensing signals, which is responsible for causing quorum sensing signals. Now coming for the laboratory diagnosis. In laboratory diagnosis, again you have to collect the samples. So the Burkholderia malai are among the most dangerous bacteria to work in the laboratory. So you must have, if you are having a biosafety cabinet or the biosafety level 3 facilities, then only you can handle this bacteria for their isolation and the identification. And this facility is available in MPH Nishad, Bhopal. That is the high security lab, that is the National Animal Health Center, that is the biosafety level 3 guidelines. We have to work according to it. So if we have to isolate this organism, this laboratory is in the Anandanagar, Bhopal. So the specimens which we will be collecting, so generally the specimens will be depending on the clinical conditions or the form. It is the nasal form, or the particularly it is the skin form or the cutaneous form. So it's on the clinical signs and the lesions. And we have to collect the sample in the transport media. Now again, once we have collected the sample, what we will be doing? We will be performing the direct examination. So in case of direct examination, what we will be performing the gram staining. So the gram staining, we will be seeing medium sized organism with no characteristics. So it will be 1 to 5 or 2 to 5 and 0.3 to 0.5 micrometer. So Pseudomonas pseudomallei will often reveal small gram-negative bacilli with bipolar staining safety pin appearance. Here again you can see the specific characters of Burkholderia pseudomallei. अगर Burkholderia pseudomallei है तो कहाँ हमको सेफ्टी पिन के जैसे अपीयरेंस दिखेगा या बाइपोलर स्टेनिंग. इससे पहले बाइपोलर स्टेनिंग we have talked in case of Yersinia, and this is the second organism in which we have seen the bipolar staining, that is the Pseudomonas pseudomallei, not in the glanders but in the case of Pseudomonas pseudomallei. Now directly we can perform the fluorescent antibody technique for detection of this organism. Now coming for the isolation and the identification, these organisms, they are non-fastidious. So particularly tryptase soy agar or chocolate agar or 5% blood agar can be used for the growth of the organism. Now we can also use the potato glycerol agar. That the Pseudomonas organism for its enhanced growth require 1% growth. So if we glycerol in the media, then the growth of the Pseudomonas malai can be. So the selective media for the Pseudomonas malai is in trypticase soy agar. If trypticase soy agar is there, and we are using the polymyxin, bacitracin and acetylcholine. So the culture of Pseudomonas aeruginosa and particularly Burkholderia and Pseudomallei are incubated aerobically at 35 for 24 to 48 hours. So these are the colony characteristics of Burkholderia mallei. Okay, white and smooth, becoming granular and brown with age, no hemolysis, distinction, none of the color can be seen or be seen. Growth in the McConkey agar can be observed. No, at 42, no growth. Motility because it is capsular, no. Oxidase production, no. Oxidation of glucose is there, but it won't be using the lactose and the sucrose. While the Pseudomallei, particularly, it will be giving the yellowish brown with aging colony, and it used to give the musky color, and they are having the bipolar staining. Now the serological and immunological test which we can perform with the complement fixation test, because you have to send the horses to different countries for races. So there are different and our horse. So the complement fixation test is the prescribed test for international trade. If we have to sell or buy the horse, we have to perform the complement fixation test. And if the titer is 1:20 or greater, then only we are saying the animal is positive. So if animal is positive, then we can't sell it or we can't import it or export it. Other than this, we can perform the agglutination test. We can perform the ELISA. So the dot ELISA kits are available. DRDOs are there. So these DRDOs have developed the dot ELISA kit for the detection of the glanders. We can also perform the indirect hemagglutination test, counter-immunoelectrophoresis, and Rose Bengal plate agglutination test. This Rose Bengal plate agglutination test we will be discussing in case of brucella also. So this Rose Bengal plate agglutination test, although it is not the prescribed test in our country, but this test can be used in case of older Russia or Ukraine, you can say. So the microarray based test can also be performed. Microarray based test can also be performed for the detection of glanders. Now I will be talking about the Malin test. Malin is a prescribed test for international trade, and it is used to demonstrate the hypersensitivity reaction developed by the infection of Burkholderia mallei. Initially, when I was talking about the delayed type of hypersensitivity reactions with you, in that I have discussed that in the delayed type of hypersensitivity reaction, we have discussed about Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and in that I have told that we can also perform this test with the PPD of Malin that can be used in the case of Burkholderia mallei. ठीक है, जैसे हमने delayed type of hypersensitivity reactions किया था किसका, ट्यूबरकुलोसिस का या जोन्स डिजीज का या दूसरे हम डिजीज का कर सकते थे, ऐसा ही हमको we have to perform it in the case of Burkholderia mallei. So what is the Malin is? It is again a glycoprotein extracted from the bacterium. Burkholderia mallei का क्या है, glycoprotein which is extracted from the bacterium. Bacterium is Burkholderia mallei. So it is a Malin is a glycoprotein. So this test can be performed in 3 ways. Malin test को हम 3 वे में कर सकते हैं. First is the subcutaneous test, second is the ophthalmic test, and third is the intrapalpebral test. Okay, तो subcutaneous test क्या है? Subcutaneous test we were performing in the intradermal test we were performing in case of tuberculin. ठीक है, तो in infected animals subcutaneous inoculation of Malin. अगर हमारे पास Malin का PPD है तो हमने उसको subcutaneously inoculate कर दिया एनिमल में, तो there will be the swelling at the injection site and there will be the fever and swelling. But in generally in case of horses we used to perform the ophthalmic test. Ophthalmic test क्या है कि जो हम conjunctival sac है उसमें हम Malin डाल देते हैं, थोड़ा सा 0.1 ml of Malin कहाँ inoculate करना है हमको, ठीक है, कहाँ पे inoculate करोगे, conjunctival sac में करना करना है हॉर्स के। तो it is followed by 6 to 2 hours by inflammatory and purulent reactions in the eye. सिर्फ हमने क्या किया है इसमें, we have inoculated not at the conjunctival sac, जो conjunctiva का sac है इस साइड पे हमने वहां पे क्या किया, मैलिन को इनोकुलेट कर दिया है। तो हमको 6 to 12 hours के बाद क्या हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे there will be the inflammatory and purulent reactions can be observed. Other than these, the third method which we can perform is the intrapalpebral test. ठीक है, इसमें भी 0.1 ml हमको मैलिन कहाँ है, लोअर आईलिड में, हमको हॉर्स के लोअर आईलिड में इनोकुलेट करना है। ठीक है, तो देयर विल बी अगेन द इनिमेटेड स्वेलिंग एंड पुरुलेंट कंजंक्टिवाइटिस। तो 3 तरीके से हम मैलिन को यूज कर सकते हैं। फर्स्ट, वी कैन इनोकुलेट इट इनसाइड द स्किन। अगर हमने स्किन के अंदर इनोकुलेट कर दिया है, देन देयर विल बी द फीवर एंड स्वेलिंग। सेकेंड थिंग, अगर हमने कंजक्टाइवा में डाल दिया है तो इन्फ्लेमेटरी रिएक्शन होगा, ऑप्थेल्मिक टेस्ट दैट इज। और इंट्रापाल्पेब्रल कैसे होगा, हमने लोअर लिड में अगर हमको यहाँ इनोकुलेट कर दिया है कहीं पे भी लोअर आईलिड में, so there will be the enematous and purulent conjunctivitis. So we can perform this Malin test in 3 ways. अगर किसी का जो स्ट्रेट फॉर्म में पोस्टिंग होती है, then he has to perform this Malin test continuously. ठीक है, now animal inoculation. Animal inoculation, I have also mentioned that we can also perform the animal inoculation test. Generally हम कॉक्स पोस्टुलेट को फुलफिल करने के लिए क्या करते हैं, एनिमल इनोकुलेशन करते हैं। एंड द टेस्ट इज जनरली नोन एज द स्ट्रॉस टेस्ट। स्ट्रॉस टेस्ट, तो क्या करना है, हमको जो कंटामिनेटेड मटेरियल है ग्लैंडर्स का वो हमको ले लेना है और इंट्रापेरिटोनियली मेल गिनी पिग में इनोकुलेट करना है। ठीक है, इनटू द मेल गिनी पिग। सो देयर विल बी द swelling can also swelling will be observed. So there is a Strauss test when infectious material patient is injected intraperitoneally into the male guinea pig. So prevention and control, no vaccine is available for animal use. So we have to go for the glanders and fasciates. अगर एक बार animal positive detect हो जाता है कि he or the horse is having or the mare is having the glanders, then we have to notify to the administrative authority also, and then we have to sacrifice that animal. So with this we are finishing this